Hi everyone, Sandra here at Homesteading Ways, and today I'm going to show you how to freeze all your extra eggs. Alrighty, let's get started. Well, if you're anything like me, during the summer you end up having way too many eggs from your hens. And I guess that would depend on how many hens you have. But anyhow, if you want to store some for later during the winter when they stop laying or just slow down quite a bit, you can easily freeze your eggs, and this is how you do it. Now we'll start with of course wash your eggs, make sure they're nice and clean, but we're going to separate the whites from the yolks to start with. So do that however you like. We're going to do 3 of these. And a lot of the times you'll find that your eggs from your hens at home will have a little bit more white in them than store-bought. Not sure why that is. Just healthier chicks, I think. Well, anyhow, now with your whites, there's nothing you have to do with them. You can, if you want, just stir them around a little bit to break up whatever, but don't stir them a lot. With the yolks, you want to break them. Just make sure they're broke. You can stir it just a little bit. Now, yolks will sometimes get funny when you freeze them, so they recommend adding a little bit of salt or honey or sugar. I always use the salt. The recommended amount is half a teaspoon for every 6 yolks. So seeing I did 3, I'm going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon. And just mix it in there. See, nice looking yolks. And then to freeze whole eggs, get them in there. And now you're going to want to break those up too. Well, I'll grab a fresh fork here. I'm going to break those yolks, and you're going to mix them in a little bit. Now, you don't want to mix in air if you can help it. So just, gently move your fork around. You don't want any bubbles or foam, because that would indicate air is in there. Just break it up little by little, if you can see that, I hope. They don't have to be well mixed, like scrambled eggs. You just want them kind of combined. And that looks good enough to me. And again, you're going to add your salt. Some sites will tell you you don't need to, but the more reputable ones say to add it. So that's what I do. Better safe than sorry. And just gently mix that in as well. The next thing we're going to want to do is get our eggs in our ice cube trays. I measured out the amount for the cubes, and it comes out to be almost exactly 2 tablespoons. We're going to put all the eggs in here, but from past experience I'll tell you they can be extremely hard to get out of this thing. So most of the time I'll use a cooking spray very lightly in there. I've heard that the silicone trays work better, but that they're smaller, so that's up to you what you'd like to do. So anyhow, we'll start with the egg whites. These can be kind of tricky to measure out and get into there. Let's see here if I can try and do this without messing up the camera. Here's like half a tablespoon. Because what you want to accomplish is when you're using these in recipes, it will tell you, I mean, the actual measurements is 1 tablespoon of white usually will equal 1 egg white. And then 2 tablespoons of yolk equals 1 yolk. And 1 tablespoon of whole egg, normally, not 1 tablespoon, geez Louise. 3 tablespoons of whole eggs equals 1 whole egg. Mine comes out a little bit more, and I'm thinking my eggs are larger than what they're talking about. So you know what, I'm going to try and get this in there. Oops. See how that gets, kind of went into that one. The whites are tricky. So because I measured these out ahead of time, I know that each one of these cubes is about 2 tablespoons. So that should help me with my measurements. Next we'll do the egg yolks. This is easier by far. So if we're doing 3 egg yolks, you should come out to about 6 cubes if they're a teaspoon each, or 3 if they're like a double tablespoon. I keep mixing up my measurements, don't I? Get it all in there. And then we'll do the whole eggs. These don't take very long to freeze. So you can expect to have them pretty well frozen, I'd say in about 2 hours, maybe a little less. There's an eggshell in there. Thank goodness I caught that. And you're going to pop these in the freezer, like I said, for between an hour and 2 hours, but probably closer to 2 hours. And then when you get them out, you'll put them in baggies. I have a couple. I'll show you real quick. Now here, here are what the egg whites look like. Kind of light yellow ice cube. And then the yolks. I don't happen to have any whole eggs on hand, but you can imagine between the two of them what that would look like. Now you're going to want to mark each of your bags, you know, with the dates and how much each cube holds or whatever. That way you can use them well for your recipes. And when you want to defrost these, if you don't want to use, say, all 4 egg whites at one time, just pull them out, put them in a smaller baggie or bowl. You can defrost them, you know, in the fridge, or you can put them in a baggie like this and run them under hot water, or plug up your sink and put some hot water in there and let them sit in there for a little while, and they should defrost pretty quick for you. Well, anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you out. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. That's really great. Please comment and subscribe. That would be wonderful. It was nice talking to you. And you take care.